Now, it's time to meet the players of college sports today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, and get this show started. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a first-round NFL draft choice, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. He's a rare two-time SEC Player of the Year and spent over a decade in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Matthews. And presenting the host of the show, with over 25 years of sports broadcasting experience, Terry Norvelle. Coming to you from the future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille, it's time for College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. Presented by the Allen Law Firm.
Good morning and welcome to a Friday edition College Sports Today. Of course, that guy is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, as we are inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, inside the podcast room. Thanks to our sponsors, the Allen Law Firm, and of course, Future Home Loans, two of our major sponsors. We'll show you a bunch of other guys that make this show happen. A little bit later, Shane Matthews will join us, and we will pick 20. Coach, we got 21 bowl games we're going to pick. You, and Shane. This is one of the last times we'll all three be together with the holidays. So we're going to pick a lot of bowl games. Before we get to that, since we visited Billy Napier and getting settled in the staff and signing day, everybody's asked me, Coach, have you had a chance? I know you've been traveling a lot. Have you had a chance to visit with Coach Napier and say hi or catch us up on that?
Yeah, I've talked with him actually on the phone 2 or 3 times, and a text or two here and there. But, yeah, I really like Billy Napier. I think he's going to do a good job here, excellent job. And his team might not be all that strong next year. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. But he is a hard worker at recruiting. We know that. He's got a track record. Hopefully his assistant coaches are also excellent recruiters. And when I say recruiters, also recruit that transfer portal.
Absolutely.
You know, you got to recruit both of those areas nowadays, and then sometimes you got to recruit all the guys that are currently on the team. Yeah. But I think he's a no-nonsense guy that will really, really work hard. We'll have a tough team. We'll run the ball and throw the ball maybe 50-50.
Okay.
I think that's his motto, a little bit like we did, and go from there. But, time will tell, but I think we hired a very good coach in Billy Napier.
You mentioned recruiting Florida. 9 guys, I think, officially signed, and, 3 or 4 highly rated guys. Recruiting nowadays, the college coach, it's so different. There's really 3 recruiting seasons. You recruit the high school players. You recruit the portal, as you said, trying to bring in some proven players. And you recruit your existing roster. I mean, it's a recruiting world out there.
Some of the coaches actually like this early signing day, which has turned into the main signing day.
Absolutely.
I think 80 to 85% of the guys sign early signing and get it over with. Personally, I'm glad we didn't have it when I was coaching because I always believed, we had seasons of football.
Sure.
We had football season. And then we had, after the bowl game, we had the whole month of January, a little bit of February. Now, you recruit all through the season, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you don't make home visits and all that.
Right.
And then you buckle down on recruiting, have National Signing Day, February the 10th. And then when that's over, you have a couple of weeks off or so. And then you got spring football season.
Absolutely.
Then you actually have a little bit of an off season in June, July, things like that. And then you have preseason, and away you go. But these coaches nowadays, it's pretty much a year-round deal. I don't think any rules about how often you can call and text and do all those kind of things. So they're all trying to outwork each other, as we know now. So it's some people call it the Wild Wild West. Yeah. Almost everything's legal. But again, what's fair for one is fair for all. So accept it and get at it. That's
and Coach, obviously you're 3 stints in the SEC as a player and as a head coach at 2 separate SEC programs. Boy, speaking of signing day and recruiting, the SEC just flexing its muscle again. Most of your services say Texas A&M and Alabama and Georgia all packed in there, and the SEC just continues, Coach, to bring in the talent.
Yeah, and that's I don't know if most of outstanding players are somewhere in the South or the West, but the young men are choosing a lot of SEC schools. I thought what was really interesting also in the Big Ten. Now, they had an excellent year of football, all those teams up there selling out their stadiums and so forth. Sure. But the Big Ten East, those 7 teams, that's Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State, they're all on the same side.
Yes, they are.
Those 7 teams on that side were ranked higher than all the teams on the other side. All
Is that
the teams.
Right? Yeah, I believe it, yeah.
Nebraska and Iowa and Wisconsin and all those guys over there were actually ranked underneath the 7 on the other side.
How about that?
I don't know what that means, but they need to. I think I would rearrange the divisions if I was that Big Ten.
Well, for a while, it's funny, Coach. You just jogged my memory. For a while this season, 4 of those teams in the Big Ten. Which one's the power?
East is the
East is about the Big Ten East. 4 of them were in the top 10 there for a long time. Ohio State and Michigan and Penn State and Michigan State. And then they played each other, knocked 1 or 2 of them out. But it was very East heavy. Was the Big Ten really, really East heavy? Boy, we don't have time right now, Coach. But the portal and the moving around has started. Boy, you've got big names. Spencer Rattler, no longer at Oklahoma. He's going to South Carolina. Bo Nix threw his name in. Keaton Slovis, the quarterback at USC, has thrown his name in the portal. Max Johnson, pretty solid SEC quarterback at LSU. He's in the portal. It just on and on. It's just a different world in college football. I don't know if I like it or not yet. It's new, but Coach, it's different. There's free agency and player movement and player freedom now.
I don't know what the percentage is of how many transfer portal guys actually really helps them.
Sure.
Maybe it's 50%, maybe it's less. I don't know. But all these quarterbacks, as we know, the grass always looks greener on the other side of the fence. And then when you get over there, it's not always greener. So time will tell. It'll work out for some of them, and some of them they'll look back and say, man, why did I do this?
Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to look at 21. I picked out 21 bowl games, and we're gonna give our expert opinion as best we can. Coach Spurrier, Shane Matthews will catch up with, and myself. But boy, you talk about going through. We'll spend a couple of seconds before we take a break. Going through transition. These bowl games. I mean, we haven't even talked. We talked about portal. We haven't talked about opt-outs. There's still a ton of guys that are just opting out. They're not staying in college football, but they're not playing their last game. These bowl games, you and Shane, we're going to have our hands full because you just don't know what's all happening with the rosters. And, Coach, you talked about, I think it was Rick Newhouse you referenced maybe this morning. I know you listened to some of those shows. He has an interesting theory that I've thrown out. The bowl games might need to figure some stuff out or restructure how they do it. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, Ricky New came up with an idea, said maybe the Bowls should play before the season. Yeah.
Yes.
Get 2 good teams and maybe champions of one league against the other and go to a bowl game. Go there about 2 or 3 days early. You don't have to do the whole week and play the bowl game then, but let it count. Yeah. Let it count towards the season. And then the season's over, I guess, pretty much after the conference championships and then the Final Four teams.
And Coach,
it would make sense, I think.
I've thrown that out. Basically, and not before the regular season, the first games would be sponsored by the bowls.
Yeah.
I mean, we're matching up these good matchups anyway. You know, the Florida Michigans and the Miamis and Alabamas. Well, I would say and I've been saying what Newhouse. That first game, Florida-Michigan a couple years ago, that could be the Gator Bowl. That could be the Orange Bowl. That could be the Rose Bowl. Your fans, number one, the weather's a lot better. Your fans travel in.
Yeah.
They're playing and we'll see, like the Pinstripe Bowl. That's outdoors in the north. It's gonna be miserable in a couple weeks. Pinstripe Bowl, Yankees could be on the road. Pinstripe Bowl could be, West Virginia, whoever it is. The bowls, Coach, I do think the bowl system is going to have to tweak because –
all the opt-outs and guys just don't want to play.
Yeah.
May get hurt, this, that, and the other.
Totally agree.
South Carolina's playing North Carolina. Heck, we used to play them first game of the season a couple of years there anyway. So now they could just.
Why wouldn't that be the Belt Bowl or the whatever bowl? Played in Charlotte.
Yeah, the Belt Bowl, call it the Belt Bowl instead of first game of the season.
And you make a great point. Your fans and all, it's still fun, and you give all the trappings of a bowl game. And now, I know we need to come back with Shane Matthews and pick some bowl games. Coach, what that also does, and I've kind of thought this through, and I've thrown this idea out as well. You've moved all your December bowl games. Mm-hmm. They're sponsoring first of the year games, okay? Because you want to free up December because we're not very far. I know they're still blanking and moaning about how to do it, but we're not far off from a 12-team playoff. Mm-hmm. Well, then the games that are going to be played in December are the playoff rounds. Mm-hmm. Week 1 of December, week 2 of December, right? The 12 teams that you're going to have your playoff going all the way to the first of the year, and then there's your championship. But you're onto a good idea. I think Newhouse's onto a good idea, and I think the Bulls, if they're smart, they might look into that.
I think they definitely ought to look into it and just start the season maybe 1 week earlier. Play those games at night if it's pretty hot during that time. But we opened with Miami down in Orlando. I mean, they could have called that Capital One Bowl if they wanted to.
Absolutely. That's the bowl. See, you're on it, Coach. You're on it.
Yeah.
Ohio State and Notre Dame open with each other. That's their first game. Mm-hmm. There's your Orange Bowl. There's your, right?
Could be.
Now, how do you do it? How do you do it financially? Somebody may lose a home game, but gosh, you could probably find as much or more money in a neutral site game like that, a bowl game. But yeah, there's your Orange Bowl. There's your Rose Bowl. Notre Dame and Ohio State, week 1 is the Rose Bowl. They might need to look into that, Coach. I like it.
Yeah, and I think they, at the end of the season, when they do their bowl game matchups, then they just take it to the beginning of the next season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just use the same format.
Love it.
Selecting the teams.
Love it.
And it would be different teams, no question about that, but still same 2 teams playing.
I totally agree. I know a lot of viewers and podcast listeners soon are kind of scratching their head, but change is part of life. Change is part of life. Who would have thought we would have had portals and transferring and NIL 10 years ago?
And opt-outs.
And
never heard of that.
And opt-outs. Coach, let's take a break. Let's come back. We'll get Shane Matthews joining us. And we're going to rattle through about 21 bowls and give you our thoughts before you fill out your Christmas college football poll at work. Don't do it until you hear the experts. We're going to tell you who's going to win. 21 bowls on the other side. It is a Friday edition of College Sports Today.
I'm Bill Allen of Allen Law Firm. My wife Jenny and I love Christmas because it reminds us to think of the important things like faith, family, and friends. We are so blessed and fortunate to be able to work together doing work we love that helps people in need, something we know we couldn't do without your support.
So from our home to yours, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a wonderful New Year.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of College Sports Today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle can be found up and down the Northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development, go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvelle, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Time to talk about some bowl games here, but before we do that, let me tell you about the great 35th Florida Manatee Festival. It is that time of year next month, on January 15th and 16th. That is Saturday and Sunday, the 35th Florida Manatee Festival in Crystal River. They've done it a long time, 35 of these coming up, and they throw a big-time party. It is a lot of fun. Saturday and Sunday, January 15th and 16th, in downtown Crystal River. A lot of fun. Adults $5, kids 12 and under free. They'll have 2 food courts, 3 entertainment stages all weekend long, arts and crafts, a kids zone, so the kids will be happy. They've got a hippie village. Evan, if you go, we'll find Evan in that hippie village. Street entertainment, 2 beer and wine gardens. Thank you very much, and a lot of fun. Manatee boat tours all weekend, kayak tours. All the information you want is online. If I didn't just give it all to you right there, check them out. GoManateeFest.com. GoManateeFest.com. You see it right there. Man, they do a good job. The Citrus County Chamber of Commerce, 35 of these bad boys. They know what they're doing. And
what's the date of that again?
It is January 15th and 16th, Coach.
Let's write that down. January 15th, 16th.
That's a Saturday and Sunday, and I think I'm going to go over that thing.
I may go down there. Nothing going on mid-January that I know of.
We may all head down there.
Yeah, I got some good friends that live on the river down there at Crystal River. So.
Yeah. And, that's a hidden, sweet little area. Boy, that's a pretty, that Gulf side is beautiful, isn't it, Coach?
Beautiful down there.
It really is. So, we may all head down there. I'm going to go down there and get a room down there and have a good little kind of, wrap up the year and start the new year kind of thing. But they've done it for 35 years, January 15th and 16th. Mark it down. Maybe we'll see you down there. With that, let's talk some bowls. Coach Spurrier, as we welcome Mr. Shane Matthews should be with us. Hey, Shane.
How you guys doing?
Good. Coach, we'll get your headphones on there so you can hear Coach. And I'm sorry, so you can hear Shane. Shane, we're doing well. We got 21 games. I know it's tough right now. Shane, address real quick before we pick some games. It's so hard now to pick bowl games. Who's playing today versus who's playing in a week versus who's playing when they kick this thing off. The bowl structure has got to go through some changes. I don't know what it is, Shane, but don't you think they've got to figure something out?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what the answer is. When there's coaching changes, kids opting out, what have you, it's a very unique deal right now. I'm a big bowl guy. I think the more bowl games, the better. They just got to figure out how to make them competitive.
With that, let's we're going to do 21 games real quick here because with the holiday and all, the 3 of us won't be together a lot. Let's review though, Coach. You won the championship week 2 weeks ago. You were 5-2. Coach Spurrier had a 5-2. Those were the championship games. We did 7 championship games. Coach, you were 5-2. I came in at 4-3. Shane, you had a 3-4 championship. But Shane, you're still leading this thing. It is tight. Shane's got 91 overall correct. And this is through 14 weeks we've been picking. I'm right behind at 89, and Coach is nipping at our heels at 86. 21 games, guys.
21.
And they're going to be hard to pick, but let's see if we can help people win some money in their pool. Shane, why don't you go first? We're going to lead things off. Missouri, Army, Armed Forces Bowl. That's next Wednesday. Army, tough loss to Navy in a fun game. Shane, how do you see Missouri, Army?
Shoot, who knows? I'm going to take the cadets. They'll be ready to play.
I'm gonna follow Shane and go Army coming off the loss, Coach. Hell of an Army-Navy game the other day, and Navy upset them, Coach. How do you see this one, Missouri and Army?
I'm going to take Missouri since you guys are taking Army. Missouri had a nice recruiting class
Yes,
this
they
year.
did.
One of their best ever. Eli Drinkwitz, he may have his guys ready to go.
And as of right now, the star running back, Beatty, is playing.
Yeah.
As of right now, that could change. Game coming up next Thursday, the 23rd, is Florida and UCF Gasparillo Bowl. This is a tough one. Florida's had several layouts, portal outs. They've had Zach Carter's just going to sit out. Emory Jones is going to play. I'll lead this one off. UCF, I bet you everybody plays, and they're going to really want this game. I think Florida somehow figures out a win here, but Coach Spurrier, I'll let you go next. I'll take Florida. How do you see Florida UCF? Tough. Who's playing?
Well, obviously, I'm pulling for the Gators.
Of course.
I hope that we can go down there and have a winning season, 7-6. That's what's on the line. But like you said, UCF has got pretty much their whole team, and I know they want to beat Florida, maybe a little bit more than Florida wants to win the game. I hope I'm wrong, but I'll go with UCF.
Coach goes UCF. Shane, how do you see it? Gators and the Knights?
I kind of agree with everything Coach just said.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
gosh, you don't want to end the season on a losing note, but, you know, we got a bunch of guys that transferred, which I don't know if that's a bad thing. I mean, give the other guys an opportunity to play that may give a little more effort. But we got not one coach that's going to be coaching this game is going to be back on the staff. Do they really care?
Yeah.
I'm like Coach. I'm pulling for the Gators, but I think it's a bigger game for UCF, and it's a terrible matchup for the Gators because it's a no-win situation, really.
Well said, and we forgot to mention, Florida with the interim coaching staff. Gus Malzahn, they're ready to rock. So 2 UCFs, 1 Florida. Coach, I'll let you lead off. And by the way, Shane and Coach, I'm going to try and lead guys I might know that are not playing. I'm going to try and give you guys some information so you're not blinded. Our next game, Houston versus Auburn. Auburn, several starters have opted out and transferred out. Auburn's got 6 or 7 guys out. Bo Nix, of course, not part of the team anymore. Houston coming off their conference championship loss. Coach, how do you see Houston, Auburn? Auburn, a bunch of guys aren't playing and have left the program.
Yeah, because of that and whatever, I think Houston, I'll pick Houston.
Yeah, Houston's had a good year. They lost to a good Cincinnati team, but Houston's had a good year. Shane, Houston, Auburn, a lot of guys aren't playing in the Birmingham Bowl next Tuesday.
Yeah, even if they were playing, I'd still probably pick Houston. I just think they got too much firepower. And I think Dana Holgerson will have his crew ready to play.
I'm gonna draft on you two guys. I think Houston's got more want to. More players will be in the game. I'm going Houston as well, so it's a clean sweep. Mississippi State and Texas Tech get together in the Liberty Bowl. Remember now, that's Coach Leach against his old program. Texas Tech, kind of an interim staff because they've changed out. Liberty Bowl next Tuesday. I'll lead this one off. I'll go with the SEC here. Mississippi State wrapping up a pretty dadgum good season. Coach, how do you see this?
Yeah, I'm going with Mississippi State also. I don't think they've had any opter outs.
I haven't heard any.
Haven't heard of any. Will Rogers, their quarterback, I think he's one of the best in the country. Texas Tech had a nice finish, though. Yeah. But I'll go Mississippi State.
Shane, SEC there against the Big 12. How do you see it? Mississippi State, Texas Tech.
Yeah, I like Mississippi State big in this game.
Big. Okay. Mississippi State across the board for us 3. Holiday Bowl is next, gentlemen. Shane will let you lead this one off. Just 2 teams about 3,000 miles apart, NC State and UCLA get together in the Holiday Bowl. That's next Tuesday. Shane will lead this one off. Kelly stays at UCLA. NC State had kind of an up and down, pretty good season. Boy, this is a coin flip here, Shane. How do you see it?
I like NC State. I think they're a much better football team than UCLA.
NC State. Coach, how do you see that one?
Now, where is the Holiday Bowl?
Holiday is out on the West Coast. Shane, where is that? San Diego, maybe?
San Diego.
San Diego.
Okay. Because it's out there, I'll go UCLA.
So Coach goes UCLA, kind of home turf. I'll go UCLA as well. UCLA, Coach stayed there. Maybe that'll spark him a little bit when he was rumored. So Shane goes out on a limb on that one with NC State. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, and don't ask me where this one's played, West Virginia, Minnesota. Your guy, the row the boat guy, Minnesota, hasn't followed up that big year a couple years ago, Coach. This is another one. I don't know a whole lot about opt-ins and opt-outs. Minnesota, West Virginia, Coach Spurrier.
I'm going to go with Minnesota. I think they got their coach and most of all their players playing, I do believe. So where's that game being played?
That is Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Shane, if you know this one, I'll give you an attaboy. Where's this one at?
I have no clue.
Well, I hope it's up north. Well,
in a stadium. We know it's in a stadium somewhere. So, Coach, you're going to go Minnesota.
Minnesota. I go.
Shane, go ahead.
I'll take West Virginia.
West Virginia, and I'll go with Coach Minnesota, just Big Ten, and boy, I do know West Virginia. Letty Brown, one of their longtime running backs, I don't think is playing, but that's a toss-up as well. Pinstripe Bowl, I'm assuming that's in Yankee Stadium.
New York, yeah.
New York, Coach. Virginia Tech, a lot of players aren't playing, and they've got a coaching situation where they're with an interim staff. They take on Maryland. Coach, how do you see that one? Maryland, Virginia Tech in a lot of transition.
Yeah, I would have normally taken Va-Tech, but since the situation there, I'll go with Maryland. I think all their players and coaches are still there.
Coach Spurrier goes Maryland. Shane, how do you see that one? Remember, Virginia Tech, a lot of transition.
Well, is their quarterback playing? That's all I need to know.
For who?
Virginia Tech.
Virginia, I can't corroborate for sure.
Okay, well, I think he's a really good player. I'm going to take Virginia Tech.
And he's the guy who's been in and out of the lineup, right? He's hurt every other game, but when he's in, he's good. So you're going to take VTech.
Yep.
Shane takes Virginia Tech. I'll take Maryland, and that's a coin flip. All right, Cheez-It Bowl. Clemson, Iowa State. Two teams a little disappointed in their seasons. Shane, I'll let you lead this one off. Cheez-It Bowl, Iowa State, Clemson. These two would never play except in a bowl game. How do you see it?
I'll take the Clemson Tigers. They got better players, and they haven't played great, and they got a good defense. I don't care who's not playing. Iowa State to me is always promoted to be a really good team, and they never pan out.
Yeah, so you go with Clemson. Coach Spurrier, Clemson, not 9-3, I guess, but they're disappointed in that 9-3. How do you see this game?
Yeah, I'll go with Clemson. I think personnel-wise, they're superior to Iowa State, and they need to win win 10 games again.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you guys as well. I'm going to draft with Clemson. The only thing that scares me here, Iowa State to get a Clemson win, I think they're going to be stirred up. I'm going to take Clemson, but I think Iowa State may have a little more want to. I think Clemson, though, might just be more talented. Clemson beating Iowa State just kind of makes Clemson go, okay, if Iowa State could beat Clemson, I think they would really be jacked. But I'm going to draft on you guys. I'm going to go Clemson across the board. Alamo Bowl, what a unique game this is going to be. The Alamo Bowl, you talk about coaching staffs. Both staffs are gone. Interim staffs are in. Oregon and Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl. This is a tough one. Bob Stoops, the interim coach. Obviously, Lincoln Riley has left Oklahoma, so there's real coaching flux on that side. Oregon, obviously, Mario Cristobal is not there, so there's coaching on each side. I'm going to roll the dice here and just say Bobby Stoops will put it together. I'm going to take Oklahoma in this. Coach Spurrier, I'll throw it to you next. Oregon, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm taking Oklahoma. I think most of that staff has stayed on.
Is that right?
I'm not sure of most, but I know Venables has kept several of the guys on Lincoln Riley's staff. So I think they got a little bit more cohesion going than Oregon.
So, Shane, you got two staffs that have been the head coaches are gone and a lot of flux with these two programs. Boy, this would be a good game earlier in the year, but who knows who's going to show up. How do you see it?
Well, Oklahoma's got the better quarterback, clearly, and they're the better team. Oregon is just they're frauds, in my opinion. They're never really good. I don't know why they get all the hype. They're still living off the Chip Kelly days. So I think OU wins this game.
So we're all three Oklahomas. Shane, real quick comment though. Do you look at Oregon a lot like you look at Iowa State? They kind of always get that.
They're the same. They get all this love, and then they lose 3 or 4 games every year.
There you go. So we're all three going to go with the Sooners. I wish this game was played earlier in the year and the coaching staffs were there and all. Thibodeau's out for Oregon. I know that. The big defensive end's not going to play. I'm going to watch that one, though. That one intrigues me a little bit. Let's move on here. What do we got? North Carolina, South Carolina, the Mayo Bowl. And where's that? Charlotte, I believe? Yeah, Charlotte, Coach Spurrier. I like this game. I can't wait to watch this game. As of right now, it appears Sam Howell is going to stay and play. He's probably heading to the NFL, but as of right now, unless, Coach, you've heard something else, how do you see? That's a fun game, a border war, North Carolina, South Carolina.
Yeah, I think North Carolina is probably favored.
I would think, yeah.
Now, how badly they want the game, I don't know. Yeah. Last year, I know they had 2 or 3 opt-outers, and they went to the Orange Bowl. It almost beat Texas A&M.
Sure.
That's how good a team they had. I don't know. I think South Carolina might get really pumped up and find a way to win this one.
Coach
I think the Gamecocks.
South Carolina for Coach. Shane, pretty fun game, border war. How do you see this one?
I kind of agree with Coach. I'm going to lean with the SEC here. I think Shane Beamer will have his guys excited. I don't think North Carolina will be real excited, even though they're playing South Carolina, but they were supposed to have a big year, and it was disappointing. So I think all the momentum's with the Gamecocks.
I'm going against both of you guys. I think South Carolina will definitely want this game more. I just don't think their talent level is quite there yet.
Did you see them play against the Gators?
Yeah, I did.
It looked like Alabama almost against
Hey, you
us.
worry about your pick over there, okay, head ball coach? You worry about your pick over there. I'm going to try and pick up a game on you, too, in a game I wish was played in the regular season. That'd be a really good game, wouldn't it?
You're right. They South Carolina barely beat Vandy, but they had some good games. Clemson shut them out, as we know. But
South Carolina got better as the season went on.
Yeah, they've got a lot of pretty good players. They really do.
Yeah, Tennessee
and coaches.
Tennessee Purdue is our next game. This is next Thursday, the 30th. Music City Bowl, Tennessee Purdue. Shane, I'll let you lead this one off. Where do you go? I know the quarterback Hendon Hooker's coming back for Tennessee, so he's going to play.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Jeff Brom at Purdue, but I think Tennessee playing in the state of Tennessee, I think they'll be excited for this. I like the Vols.
Vols and Boilermakers, Coach. How do you see it?
Yeah, it's more of a home game for the Tennessee Vols. They'll have a big crowd there. Their fans are fired up.
They are.
So I'll go with the mighty Vols to take this one.
I'm going to make it a clean sweep across the board. Tennessee playing in front of a big crowd. I think they get it done. Peach Bowl. Interesting. Pitt, Heisman Trophy finalist Kenny Pickett will not play. Pickett has opted out. Michigan State had a damn good year. Almost had a big year. Kenneth Walker, running back, will not play. Shane, I'll let you lead this one off. The two stars for Pitt and Michigan State will not play in the Peach Bowl. Pitt having a big year. Michigan State a little disappointed at the end. Who wins this one, in your opinion, Shane Matthews?
I like the Pitt Panthers. I don't even know who his backup is, but I think Narduzzi's a really good football coach, and I'm gonna lean to the Panthers just because of that.
Two stars, Coach Spurrier, not playing in this game. Pitt, Michigan State, who wins?
Oh, I go Michigan State. If quarterback Kenny Pickett's not playing.
He is not playing.
You know, I think he was like a 5-year starter there.
I think he was. Yes, he was.
Because of the COVID, you get an extra year. So he might be one of the first 5-year starting quarterbacks ever in college football. And he was up at the Heisman.
I was going to say,
he was a chance to meet him. Yeah, fine young man, good passer, and a really good player. But I'll go Michigan State. I think they'll really miss him.
I'm going Michigan State as well, so Shane's out on a limb on that one. Gator Bowl is next Friday, or Friday the 31st, I should say, a couple Fridays from today. Shane, Texas A&M, Spiller's out. Calzada is out. They're deep in their quarterback depth chart now, Texas A&M, because Calzada, I don't think he's playing. I know he's transferred. That's right. He has transferred. So Wake Forest had a season where, gosh, the Deacs were ranked in the top 10 several weeks. Gator Bowl, Shane Matthews, A&M, Wake Forest.
I'm gonna go with the SEC here. I know they got a ton of guys. Nobody knows who's gonna play quarterback for them, but why not? I don't think Wake Forest can stop anybody.
They can't, but I'm going to go with Wake Forest and all that scoring. They're going to score a lot. 2 or 3 of those big A&M defensive guys have opted out. And Coach Spurrier, Calzada, the quarterback for Jimbo, he's transferred, so they're going to be deep in their quarterback rotation. I just want you to know that as you've got to pick Wake Forest, Texas A&M, Coach.
I'm going to go with Texas A&M. I just think their defense will dominate the game.
Yeah, Shane is right, though. Boy, Wake Forest has not stopped anybody. They've just been a score. They've been fun to watch on offense, but I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit. Our next game is we got a few more before we get to kind of really the bigger games. Coach Spurrier, I'll let you take a peek first at or a shot first at the Sun Bowl. That's also Friday the 31st. Washington State and Miami. Miami, a program in flux with their coaching staff. Washington State, Miami, Sun Bowl. Who the heck wins that one, Coach?
I'll go with Washington State. Those players really like that coach. He took over for the guy that wouldn't get the vaccination. So they've done very well. So I'm going to go with Washington State.
Shane, I'm going to go ahead and take Washington State as well. Shane, your opinion, does Miami even feel like getting on the plane? I mean, Miami, a lot of turmoil, a lot of turnover going on with that program. How do you see it? Washington State taking on the Canes.
I like Washington State big.
Washington
is Manny Diaz coaching that game?
No, no, he's gone. I think isn't that right, Shane? They've bumped up an interim to get him through that game.
far as I know. I haven't really followed it.
We're going to skip the two college football playoff games. We'll get to those in a quick moment. Let's jump down to Penn State, Arkansas, Outback Bowl. The receiver for Arkansas, Burks, has said he's not playing. Penn State, Clifford is playing because he's coming back for another year. Penn State, Arkansas, Shane, Outback Bowl. We're starting to get to the fun games now if everybody plays. How do you see it?
I like the Hogs. I think the Hogs will really want to play in this game, and I think they're better than Penn State.
Arkansas is the pick for Shane Matthews. Coach Spurrier?
Yeah, I'll go with SEC, Arkansas.
Arkansas. I'm going to go across the board, too. I just think they're going to play hard. He gets his team to play hard, and I'm with Shane Matthews. I'm not so sure how much Penn State's going to really want that game. The next game is a pretty fun game. It's the oh-so-close bowl, I'm going to call it, the Fiesta Bowl, two teams that were so close to the college playoff. Oklahoma State takes on Notre Dame. That's the Fiesta Bowl, and remember, those two teams were really one more win away from getting in. Oklahoma State, was a yard away from getting in if the running back had gotten in the end zone. And Notre Dame, that Cincinnati loss haunted them. Coach Spurrier, pretty good game it looks like between two teams that are disappointed they got so close. Oklahoma State and Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl, Coach, on the first. How do you see it?
I tell you what, I think I'll go with Notre Dame.
Okay.
I think the players up there really like their new coach, Marcus Freeman, and I think they'll play very hard.
They'll play hard. Shane, I'm going to let you go second because I'm still vacillating on this game, and I want to delay my pick. Notre Dame, Oklahoma State should be a pretty good game.
I like Oklahoma State.
Oak State, he goes with Gundy. Goodness gracious, I guess I got to pick this one now. This is a tough one. I'll go with Oklahoma State. I think they'll rebound. Not sure if their running back who missed the championship game will be back, but I'll go Oklahoma State. So, Coach, you got a chance to pick up a game on Citrus Bowl, Big Ten SEC, Saturday the 1st, has Kentucky and Iowa. Kentucky, Iowa. Shane, I'll let you pick first here. Kentucky, boy, this would be their 10th win, wouldn't it, if they get a win? This would be their 10th win, I think.
Yeah, I like Kentucky in this game. They can score a little bit more than Iowa.
Kentucky is the pick. Boy, Levis did a nice job. Kentucky had so much trouble with quarterback play the last couple of years. That Levis came in and settled Kentucky's quarterback down. Coach, Iowa, Big Ten, SEC, Kentucky in the Citrus Bowl in Florida. How do you see it?
Yeah, I'll go with the SEC, Kentucky.
I'm going to go Kentucky as well. Iowa, close, but lost their big games. And I'll go Kentucky. And Shane, am I right? That would be Kentucky's 10th win.
Yeah, they're 9-3.
You know, to be honest with you, it sounds right.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, Coach. I think they're looking at 10 wins though, right, Coach? I think Kentucky. That's a feather in the Kentucky football cap if they get 10 wins. That is really nice. Rose Bowl, Utah taking on Ohio State. This should be a pretty fun game. The Buckeyes, you know, they love the Rose Bowl, but they don't want to be in the Rose Bowl. They wanted to be in the college football playoff. Coach Spurrier, Utah, looking for a big season now, takes on Ohio State in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I'll go with Ohio State. Utah, a very good team, had an excellent year. Ohio State, even though they lost to Michigan first time in 8 years, Ryan Day, he's a solid coach. He's got players, receivers, offense, and I think their defense will play well also. They'll regroup. Ohio State will regroup because they're a program that does that. They're like Alabama. Alabama almost doesn't win the SEC every year, but the bowl game, I think they played either the Outback. I think it was the Outback. They went down there and won the game. So I think Ohio State will go to the Rose Bowl and get a win.
Shane, a pretty good game. If everybody plays and everybody wants to play, this is a pretty good game. Boy, Utah's had a great second half of the year, won their first Pac-12 championship. And Shane, word is they're jacked out of their mind. The entire state of Utah supposedly is going to go to Pasadena. I think it's going to be just a Utah invasion. Shane, how do you see Utah and Ohio State?
I think Utah's going to upset them, so I'm picking the Utes.
Shane takes Utah. You know what? I'm going to roll with Utah as well. I think they are just – the word is the entire state is going out there. They just have never been to the Rose Bowl. They've never won the Pac-12. They're new in the Pac-12. I'm going to go with Shane and take Utah. Boy, he is a a good coach, isn't he?
Willingham.
He is a good coach, isn't he, Coach?
Yeah, I think he's been there 14 or 15 straight years.
Yeah.
I think the Iowa coach, Ferentz,
yeah.
is probably the longest tenured, but he may be second. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he might be. Shane, I'll let you, before we get to the 2 college football playoff picks and wrap it up, I'll let you lead off, Shane. The Sugar Bowl. Baylor and all that defense under Aranda. Boy, they play hard defense. I tell you, Baylor will take on Ole Miss, all that offense. Matt Corral, as of right now, is playing. He says he's excited to play. Shane, defense versus offense, how do you see the Sugar Bowl on the first? Ole Miss and Baylor.
Ole Miss loves going to New Orleans. Their fans do. I think Ole Miss wins this game.
Shane goes with Ole Miss from the SEC with their offense. Coach, again, Baylor plays good defense. Ole Miss lights it up on offense.
Yeah, I'll go with Ole Miss. Ole Miss can play some defense also now. We've seen that. The opportunity to win 11 for the first time in school history, I think that is. I know that juiced us up at South Carolina back in 2011. So I think Ole Miss gets win number 11.
Wow, how about that? Ole Miss win number 11. I'm with you guys. I think Ole Miss in a pretty good game will have just enough offense figured out maybe in the second half, and Ole Miss picks up the win. And you said 11, right? That would be their 11th win for Ole Miss. You're right. They're sitting on 10 because that was kind of that record setter. Guys, 2 more games, and we'll wrap it up here and get Coach Spurrier and Shane out of here. The 2 college football playoff semifinals. We know the 2. Obviously, the 2 winners will play for all the marbles. Shane, I know your pick because I listened to your show a lot. Cincinnati, first time kind of in this neighborhood with this tall cotton. Cincinnati takes on Alabama. That's the first playoff game, 3:30 in the Cotton Bowl. That's the first game of 2. Cincinnati, Alabama. Sum it up, Shane. I know who you're going to pick, but sum it up. How you see it?
Yeah, I think this is blowout city. Cincinnati's a great story, but I watched them play way too much, and I think Bryce Young can name the amount of yards he throws for, even with Mechie out. I think Alabama wins this convincingly.
Shane, I've heard Shane say he thinks it's going to be a blowout. Cincinnati's going to just be wide-eyed. How do you see the Bearcats and Alabama trying to get to the championship game?
Oh, I think it won't be a blowout, but obviously you got to take Bama. Although Bama did blow out Georgia, didn't they? But I don't know. Cincinnati may come to the ballpark really ready to play, but whether or not they can stop.
I'm going to go across the board as well.
Shane, is that your dog we're hearing?
We got a couple of dogs. I'm at my buddy's hunting camp.
Bryce Young and his guys, they'll throw for a bunch of yards, but Cincinnati, I think, keeps it close for a while.
Sounds like Shane's got a part-time job. He's a mailman, and the dogs are getting him, Coach. I think he's a mailman.
We're out at the lake here, and we got a couple dogs out here. So
we got any dog names? Do we know the dogs' names, Shane? Or?
Yeah. One of them's Grizzly. That's our dog. Big chocolate lab.
Who's the other one causing all the trouble?
Oh, that's Charlie.
Oh, Charlie. Yeah, those Charlies have always been trouble. I tell you, they've always been trouble. I'm going Alabama across the board. And guys, the second game on December 31st. Now, these are New Year's Eve games. The 2 semifinal games are New Year's Eve. The second game, the night game, is obviously played in the Orange Bowl. Georgia and Michigan, Coach. You've watched Michigan, and you've been on a Michigan bandwagon a little bit. You've seen them get better the second half of the year. Georgia, coming off the loss, takes on Michigan. Winner goes to the championship game. Coach Spurrier, how do you see it?
I tell you what, I'm gonna go for the upset and take Michigan. If they can play anywhere close to how they played against Ohio State, I think they got a chance to beat the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs, I don't know who's going to play quarterback for them. They go back and forth, but Stetson Bennett, I think, will probably be their guy. But anyway, I'm going to go with Michigan.
Michigan. Shane, semifinal game number 2, Michigan, Georgia. How do you see it?
I like the Dogs. I think they match up extremely well with Michigan because they're a running team, and that's Georgia's strength, their front 7. So I like Georgia to face Alabama for the national title.
Okay, there you have it. I'm going to go with Georgia as well, Coach. You're going to be out on a limb on yourself with Michigan. It's just hard for me to picture this incredible Georgia football team that we saw all year. If they lose to Michigan, do you realize Georgia would end the season on a 2-game losing streak? Unbelievable. I'm with Shane, though. I think Georgia will rebound just enough. I think this has got the makings of a 28-27 just thriller. But I'm going to go with Georgia. Shane, thank you very much. I know there was a lot of games where this is the last time with the holidays, the next 2 Fridays, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. I know we're all going to be scattered, so we wanted to get the majority of the bowls in. Shane, thanks so much, and enjoy your weekend, and don't let those dogs drive you crazy.
All right, guys, y'all take care.
That's my man, Shane. And Coach, we'll take these headsets off here now. And what's your confidence level? You like all your picks? It's tough. It's tough, Coach, with the opt-outs and all.
Yeah, it's I don't know, flip a coin for a lot of them.
Yeah.
But the final, the Georgia-Michigan game, I'm looking forward to really watching that one. Really? And I'm looking forward to see if Cincy can play with Alabama. I think they can.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You think Bama will win, but you think Cincinnati makes it?
Keeps it with them.
Yeah, I think Cincy's got to get out of that first quarter. They can't just get bum rushed. It's the first time they've been in that big stage. Yeah. So if they can get out of that first quarter, you may be right. Coach, 45 seconds. We'll keep you here, and then we'll take a break and let Coach Spurrier get about his business. Real quick, you had a very busy week last week. You were traveling. You went to the college football Hall of Fame class induction ceremony, and a good Gator got in among a bunch of people, Bob Stoops. And then you went straight to the Heisman. Sum up your two visits last week.
Yeah, the College Football Hall of Fame, they had it in Vegas this year instead of New York. And Lomas Brown, our Gator, went in. And, of course, Bobby Stoops, who coached here and then went to Oklahoma as the head coach. So it was nice to see the Oklahoma people and a bunch of Gator people out there and so forth. The Heisman, Bryce Young, I think everybody almost figured he was going to win. And, he won it the game against Georgia.
Sure did.
It was sort of nip and tug, but he threw for 420-something yards. So in life, sometimes you're only as good as your last game, as we know. Yeah. And right now, everybody's picking Alabama to go all the way. And then you got to remember, though, they were very fortunate to beat Auburn. And, heck, South Carolina beat Auburn. So if you ever that's why football, or really every sport, man, who plays really well that day or that night has a chance to win.
I'll let you get out of here, Coach. Thanks so much for your time. I know big happenings at Spurrier's always, but, boy, you can reserve tables and reserve rooms. I know there's a lot of graduation stuff going on tonight, all weekend. Make sure if you're in the Gainesville area, you get by Celebration Point and enjoy the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Thank you so much, Coach. We'll catch up with you next week. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, buddy.
All right, good to be with you,
We'll come back and wrap up the Friday edition right after this timeout.
I'm Bill Allen of Allen Law Firm. My wife Jenny and I love Christmas because it reminds us to think of the important things like faith, family, and friends. We are so blessed and fortunate to be able to work together doing work we love that helps people in need, something we know we couldn't do without your support.
So from our home to yours, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a wonderful New Year.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And, of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development, go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvelle, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Tell you one thing, those bowl game predictions are tough now with opt-outs and portals and guys just transferring out and not playing. But we got through 21 of those. I hope you enjoyed them. And we'll see. We've got our picks, Coach Spurrier, Shane Matthews, and myself. We have picked 21 of the bowl games. And, gosh, I think bowls start like today. I think they start playing today, some of the lower level bowl games. Special thanks to all of our sponsors. You saw a moment ago all those great people that make this show happen, including the two logos above my shoulder. Our title and major sponsors of this show are, of course, the Allen Law Firm. Boy, if you're in a situation where you need some legal advice, an accident, an injury, just legal advice, don't be intimidated. The reason they have free consultations is to talk to you folks and let you explain what is your situation, what is going on, and nobody does it better than the Allen Law Firm. It's a very simple discussion. Pick up your phone and dial pound YES. Pound yes rings you right through to the experts at the Allen Law Firm, or check them out online. They do have a virtual online consultation as well. Remember, the spelling of the Allen Law Firm, ALLEN. So you can go to allenlaw.com for their website. We appreciate their sponsorship all season long here on College Sports Today. And, of course, we are broadcasting inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. Coach has got his own podcast room that we hang out in. We call it the Future Home Loans Studio. If you're looking for a mortgage, first time, refi, whatever the case is, go with the best people in the South. Boy, they have expanded, and there's a reason. All the five-star reviews mean people are happy what they do for you, what Future Home Loans does, matching up your financial situation with the right lender and getting you in that beautiful new home, that refinance, whatever your situation is. Do not make a financial mortgage move without contacting Future Home Loans. You see all the other sponsors, and of course the Safe Harbor Seafood folks. We've had our Safe Harbor Seafood picks now 15 weeks, I believe it is, and we're wrapping it up with 21 bowl picks. We appreciate everybody that makes this show happen, including, don't forget now, the 35th annual Manatee Festival in Crystal River. Check it out. There you see it right there, the Florida Manatee Festival. We told you all about it last year. They're at it again early January. And you heard Coach Spurrier. He may pop up. He was taking down the dates, and I think I'm going to head over as well. Coming up on Saturday and Sunday, January 15th and 16th. They do it right. They've done it 34 years. This is the 35th edition of the Florida Manatee Festival over in Crystal River in Citrus County. You see all the stuff going on, food courts, beer and wine gardens, art and craft vendors everywhere, a kid zone, street entertainment, a hippie village. I got to walk by the hippie village, don't I? That'll be a lot of fun. They've got kayak tours, manatee boat tours to learn about the beautiful manatee. Just a lot of fun. 3 separate entertainment stages. It is a big annual fun time over in Crystal River, Florida, over on the Gulf Coast. Check it out. Make plans. If you need any more information or want to start putting it together with some friends and send the information, you see the bottom of the screen. That'll get you to all the information you need. GoManateeFest.com. Again, their online presence, GoManateeFest.com. That'll wrap it up here on a Friday edition. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going into the bowl season, and, of course, December 31st, the 2 big bowls. And then the 2 winners of the semifinal bowls will meet on Monday, January 10th, and we will lead you up to preview and review all of those big games as college football slowly wrapping up. But we've got some meaningful games left. That'll do it for our Friday edition. Thanks to all the sponsors. We always want to make sure we thank all the people that make the show happen. We appreciate the time that Shane Matthews gave us, and, of course, the head ball coach. But none of this can happen without our great producer, Evan Miller, who makes everything happen behind the scenes. We'll get out of here on a Friday, but we'll be right back right here Monday for the next edition of College Sports Today.